Veritas. SCP Files. Episode 88. Coda. Collection of incident reports related to SCP-8418, colloquial name pending. Object class, safe. Risk assessment level, low. Reports compiled, May 29th, 2025. Officer's note. SCP-8418 is a supermarket in Trenton, New Jersey, which has since been acquired by the Foundation and sealed off from public access. SCP-8418 contains a musical cognitohazard which plays from the speaker systems at all times. This music attunes to the perception of the listener, inducing a gradual descent into severe psychosis over the course of 7 minutes. The result is often complete derealization and vivid hallucinations consisting of particularly nostalgic memories. Individuals enter a state of mania while listening to the music. However, once removed, typically enter severe depressive episodes coupled with a longing to return to SCP-8418, which can overpower logic and reason. This is just one small sample of reports from the civilian population that have frequented this store. Incident Report 8416-17. Reported by Jack Monterey, civilian. Can I blame my mother for all this? Sorry, I have a bad habit of joking whenever I'm anxious. It really is a joke. My mother was amazing. She always told me to follow my heart, you know? When I went to tell her I wasn't going to college, that I just didn't feel like it was my place, that I wasn't cut out for academia, she didn't argue with me. She didn't like it. I could tell by the way she pursed her lips, that slight frown when she was fighting back something she really wanted to say. But in the end, she simply asked if I was happy like this, pursuing my music and my band instead of my lessons. I said yes, and my excitement was good enough for her. So that was that. For the next 2 years, I jammed out nightly in my garage, playing the guitar until my fingertips were calloused and I heard the music everywhere, even in my sleep. It became my entire life. I would practice until we'd all meet up weekly, and then we'd play together and talk about what would happen next. Someday, we planned to make it to the big cities and really make a name for ourselves. But as time passed, our band members dwindled. Each one graduated and moved away. All of them entering colleges, sometimes on the other side of the country, and sometimes near enough that they could have made it, but suddenly didn't. They had exams to study for now. They had projects. And then they had new friends and a new life, and they weren't showing up to my garage anymore to practice. My mother was there for me, of course. Every time a friend disappeared, she'd put her arms around me and ask again if I was happy here, with my music. I'd say yes, and then that would be that. It was good enough for her. Until eventually, the cracks started to show. Her hours extended later and later each night. She'd come home in the mornings and collapse into bed, looking like a zombie. And here I was, holding my guitar, eating her food, and hanging out in her garage. Of course I knew how hard she worked so I could keep living here. But this was the life I'd chosen. I didn't know how to make it go any further towards what I wanted. And I didn't know what would happen if I stopped saying yes. Yes, Mom, I am happy. So happy. I don't know if she knew that I was stuck. She must have, but she never called me out on it. Not once. The night it happened, I'd been up late again. I was trying to write a new song, something I could play entirely on my own. Something bigger, something that was truly me, something that would finally make all of it worth what I'd cost her. I waited up for her, wanting to play her the refrain I'd written. I kept waiting to hear her car pull into the driveway. It was 1 a.m., then 2 a.m., and then 3. I kept checking my phone, wondering, waiting. Had she been kept even later this time? Did she stop somewhere for a late-night snack? I played the refrain over and over again, waiting. The police said that she must have fallen asleep at the wheel on the way home from her second consecutive shift. Her car crossed the median and... instant, they told me. Like that makes it any better. I know she wouldn't want me thinking this way, but I just keep telling myself, if I'd told her I wasn't happy, if I'd let her stop working so hard, well, life goes on, you know? It tried to, at least. I couldn't convince myself to touch the guitar anymore, but I kept going. For her. I tried my hand at college, and when that didn't work out, I figured I'd try my hand at simple work. Start small. A shift at the local supermarket, perhaps. When I walked into it this time, I honestly wasn't thinking about her. Not really. I'd trained myself not to, convinced my brain to focus on anything else. I'd been in this store 1,000 times. I knew what was here. They'd hire me for sure. But then I heard it. The music playing over the speakers. At first, it only registered as something classical, some light guitar work. But then it hit me, suddenly, stopping me dead in my tracks. It was the song I'd been writing that night, the one I never finished. And then, she was there, right there. Right in front of me. She was standing in the garage doorway, arms crossed, smiling at me. And as always, she asked me, "Are you happy?" And this time, I didn't lie. Incident Report 8418-26. Reported by Elizabeth Wilson, civilian. That was an experience. I really wouldn't mind hearing it again. Usually, I don't spend much time thinking about before. I'm good now, though sometimes when someone says ma'am without hesitation, it still catches me off guard in the best way. I don't miss the in-between years, and I don't go looking for them. But when I walked into the store and heard that music... Did you know my mother used to play Joseph Martin Krauss when I was a kid? She swore classical music made children smarter. He was a lesser-known composer, overshadowed, but still brilliant. His symphonies were the soundtrack of my childhood, always in the background, especially during bedtime. Strange thing to hear in a supermarket. At first, I thought that's all it was. Familiar notes, odd and out of place, but soothing all the same. Then it shifted. Not dramatically, not in any way I could put my finger on, really. I began to feel like I was following something. Like I turned down each aisle a second too late and missed someone by inches. I kept expecting to catch up, moving through the aisles faster and faster, barely paying attention to the goods around me. And then I caught her. She was standing near the deli, hands fidgeting with the seams of her pants. I remember those pants. I hated them. They were sturdy, practical, uncomfortable, and boring. When we bought them, I remember pointing to the blue sundress hanging in the other aisle instead. I wanted the glitter and the sequins. I wanted to look like the girls who didn't get corrected for wanting those things. It was always a gentle no. No, I'll just be teased by the other kids. She said I could like dresses, sure, but maybe not wear them. Definitely not to school. I remember the feeling more than the words. Confusion and even a little embarrassment. And stubborn, because even then, I think I knew I wasn't wrong. Just early. Seeing her again, it wasn't painful. That's the strange part. I expected that look backwards in time to hurt. Instead, it felt like watching a beginning, seeing where it all started. She wasn't lesser than me. She wasn't weak. She was just waiting to emerge. It's nice to see that, to remember that the decision wasn't a loud, dramatic declaration of who I was. Just a promise to myself to find somewhere better, somewhere that I would fit. People who wouldn't stare or accuse or talk me down. Just accept. If I went back into the store, would that memory continue? Or does it always stop at the same place? Is that all I'd ever see? I'm not saying I need to go back, but it'd be nice, you know? I'm just curious about it, that's all. It was good to see her. I wouldn't mind sitting with her next time. Incident Report 8418-42. Reported by Wallace Murray, civilian. How did you do that? That was you, right? The music, the field? Look, I don't need the technical explanation. I wasn't finished. You ended it too soon. So if you could just, put me back. I'll be quick this time. I promise. I really don't know how you got the stadium audio so accurate. I could even hear the vendors, just as if they were really there, up in the crowd. There was the static of the announcer over the speakers. Even the way the crowd noise swelled and dipped. It felt so real. I could feel the turf under my cleats. I could smell the grass. I wasn't in a supermarket anymore. Once that music began to play, I was right back in the field. I saw myself at the 50-yard line. That version of me, he was young again. He held onto that ball knowing it was his future. And he ran. God, was I fast. Before the injury, before the divorce. I remember what it felt like to be him, looking up at the stands and knowing I had options, that I could go anywhere, be anyone. I knew which team I wanted. I knew how far I could go if I just kept moving. And that was something I was very good at. But that's when the music shifted. Why did you add that in? The brash horns fell silent. The cheering dulled, became almost distant, as though unsure if they really wanted to celebrate anymore. He turned toward me, noticed me. You hear? He noticed me. He couldn't have been a hallucination. It was as though I'd stepped back in time, walking out onto the field when I wasn't supposed to be there. At first, he just looked confused. There was no recognition in his face. Then he really looked at me. I don't think it was revulsion. It couldn't have been. And it wasn't anger either. I think it was sheer disbelief. Like he couldn't conceive of what this meant for him. He didn't recognize me. Not as himself anyway. Not as any future which could possibly wait him. He just stared for a long time, and then he finally forced the question from his lips. What happened to you? That's all. Not What did you do? Or why did you do this to me? Just what happened? I didn't have an answer. I thought maybe if I could get back into that timeline, if I can catch him before the shift in the music, maybe I can say something to him. Maybe I could tell him to sit out that fateful game where everything changed. Maybe I could tell him... I don't know. I'm not asking to stay long. Just once more. I have to try again. Please. And if that doesn't work, well, maybe once more after that? I have to change this. I have to fix it. I have to. I have to. Incident Report 8418-32. Reported by Valeria Diaz, civilian. Put me back. Please. Just please put me back. She's still warm there. She's fine. Not a scratch on her. I can still feel her. She needs me. She needs her mama. You don't understand. She's alone without me. I can't see her here. I can't see her at all here. I need the music. I need it to be there. Put me back. You have to. Please. Put me back. Put me back. Officer's note. Subject begins to strike the door with her fists and her forehead, resulting in multiple lacerations and requiring sedation. Testing on 8418, indefinitely suspended. It seems some SCPs affect people differently based on what you've experienced, what you've lost, who you are, and what's important to you. Identity is strange like that. Some people let themselves be shaped or defined by regret, or anger, or pain. And some of us don't remember at all. I wonder what I would see. Niall would probably have something to say here. Something about being better off not exploring the past and staying in the present. Or... I don't know. He didn't seem to appreciate me bringing up Mary, so maybe it's for the best he's not here for this one either. I shouldn't have asked him so many questions before. Come to think of it, I haven't heard from anyone at all recently. Dr. Sterling? I assume you're monitoring? Just checking in about my next assignment. I suppose I could check something. Personal database. Scott Anderson.
Access denied.
S. Anderson?
Access denied.
Anderson Scott?
Access denied.
What about Aiden Greenwell?
Access denied.
Stupid. Of course they wouldn't let me. Damn it. Niall, where are you?
Vault Veritas SCP Files is a podcast inspired by the SCP Foundation. Coda is based on SCP-8418 by Library of Babel from the SCP Wiki located at scpwiki.com/SCP-8418. It is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 unported license. This episode featured Justin Gellner as Scott Anderson. It was written and edited by Leola Angel. We welcome comments. Please rate and review us, email us at vaultveritas@gmail.com, or join our Discord channel using the link in the episode description. Thanks for listening.